Hey everybody, welcome back to Shooting Gear Reviews. I've got a fun video planned for you guys today involving a test of some ammo. We're actually even going to shoot some ballistics gel, and this should be pretty interesting because slugs have really been just the rage for a while now. Everyone wants to shoot slugs, and even if you've got a budget air gun, not purpose-built for shooting slugs, there's a lot of guys out there that still want to shoot slugs. And it really got me thinking that I should do a video to show everyone if there really is any advantage to shooting slugs out of a budget air gun. We all know the high power, high velocity, purpose-built slug barrel air guns can sling slugs, and obviously there's a winner in that sort of a range. But when you've got a regular stock gauntlet or your stock air gun, can you expect any advantage to shooting slugs? That's what today's video is all about. So we're going to test out a couple of hunting pellets from H&N, and we're going to test out a couple of the H&N slugs. We're going to see what we get for 50-yard accuracy and for some 50-yard results on some ballistics gel. I want to do this at 50 yards because I think that that's a good hunting distance, not only to see what our accuracy is going to be, but are we getting usable results as far as penetration and the lead expanding and dumping its energy when it impacts. So that's what we're doing today. Let's head on down to the range and get it started. Those didn't do too bad. Whoa. Oh yeah. All right, so I think for our hunting pellet choice for the accuracy portion, the Barracuda Hunters are, probably actually better than the slugs. All right, so now we've got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get set up for the gel test. I know that's what you guys are really here to see. All right, so here's how it turned out for us at 50 yards. We had our first group with the 28 grain slugs, those are the 250s, and then we did the 28 grain 249s. We kind of ended up going all over the place, but mainly concentrating right there with the Hades. So I think I'm still going to try a shot with one of those at the gel block. But then up here, as far as our hunting pellets, those Barracuda Hunters really turned out the best, pretty much out of everything we tested here. All right, I've got my gel block set up here. As you can see, this has actually already been shot. So that being said, hopefully we can still get a good enough idea, sort of, watching the result here. It's a small caliber, so I don't think it's going to need too much of a block here. And also, I've got my little GoPro set up right there for slow-mo, and then this camera right there is going to run slow-mo. So we've got 2 slow motion shots. I think this should work. Ooh, that sounded like a good thump. Let's see how one of these Barracuda Hunters fares for us. Ooh, that really thunked when it hit. Interesting. Here we go. Wow. So that was the loudest impact so far out of the 3. I wonder if that means it looked any different down there at that end. Let's go check it out. All right, so here's a look at when each of the impacts occurred. Up top, we've got the Hornet. In the middle, we've got the Slug. And on the bottom, we've got the Barracuda Hunter. You can see that the Slug was definitely the biggest temporary wound as far as opening up that wound cavity, the biggest in the very initial impact. But the Barracuda Hunter did get the most overall penetration. It's going to be interesting to see what these look like once we get them out of the gel. All right, so here's a tape measure for reference here on our penetration. Looks like the Barracuda Hunters did the best with that one going just right about 6 inches, and the Slug not too far behind that, right around 5 inches or so. Up here, 3 is about the best, maybe 2.5 is what we got out of the Hornets. All right, so here's what happened after we got these back out of the gel there. You can see that the Slug here is really the only one that got any significant deformation on impact into the gel. Take a little bit of a overhead look here. You can see that the hollow point on the Hunter did maybe spread out just ever so slightly. Looks like the tip here of the Hornet is maybe slightly deformed as well, but definitely not a significant amount of deformation really on either of those pellets. But the Slug, on the other hand, definitely opened up. I've heard a lot of people talking about needing an incredible amount of velocity to get your slugs to spread out, but it would look like you'd need more velocity to get the pellets to spread out than the slugs. So in this test today, I'm going to say that even if you have an inexpensive gun, if you're hunting at 50 yards or less, these slugs are still going to be a great hunting option. In my opinion, probably better than either of those two hunting pellets.